Hello there. We are continuing our journey to create a report in the Business Objects Web Intelligence tool. So these are the objects which we have. I have modified the query and I have got the fiscal year as well. Now let's go ahead and do that. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to bring a pie chart which talks about the revenue distribution in the top 3 countries. Okay. So to do that, you can go to the reporting element here and you can bring in a pie chart. Let's say a pie chart, and then you just drop it wherever you like. Okay, now we need to give the values. So I'm going to feed the top 3 countries with the land 1. So you can simply drag and drop it and you can bring in the net revenue. Okay, so if you see here, now you have all the countries. Now this is not the top 3 countries. So namely the top 3 countries are Germany and then Norway and then you have Great Britain. Okay, so we're going to program this to the top 3. So how do we do that? Now we can introduce a filter at a report element level. So you simply right click on it and you say filter and you say add filter. Now I was going to ask you which element, since we have only one element, so you select it, and then you say add filter. Now we're going to filter on land 1, so you say land 1 and say OK. And here we need Norway, Norway, Great Britain. So we're going to say Great Britain and then say Norway, and then we're going to say Germany. Okay, so you can simply apply it and say okay. Now if you see, the pie chart will be drilled down just to 3 countries, the top 3 countries. All right, wonderful. Now what we want to do is we also want to see the actual values. So we're going to use a bar chart to see how the revenue has increased or how it's behaving over a period of time. So to do that, let's bring in a bar chart real quick and let's drop it here. Okay, and I can also assign data by right clicking on assign data instead of dragging and dropping. So naturally it'll be difficult at some stage to always drag and drop. So let's go ahead and pick the columns. So we need the category, we need the dimension to be the year, and the value axis is going to be the revenue now, obviously. You say apply and then you see it's the year versus the revenue. Now if you see, we have a lot of years here. Now let's say the customer says, hey listen, I only want to see the last 3 years. Okay, so we can do that. We can also give it a region color. So you can say land X and you can say the regional color. So you can say the filter and you can filter the values. So you can right click on it and you can say filter and say add filter. Now we need to filter 2 things, keep in mind. One is the country. So we need to filter the land X and say we need only Norway, Great Britain and Germany. And at the same time, we need another filter. So you can add another filter called the year, fiscal year, right? So this one also needs to be filtered to the last 3 years. So in this data set, the last 3 years are 2011, 2012, and 2013. So you can apply it and you can say okay. So now if you see, it's nicely distributed and it talks about the last 3 years and the different countries. Very nice to see. Let's give it a heading here. It looks a little bit empty. So to bring in a blank cell, you can go to report elements, and we were working from the table, and then you can go to cell and then bring a blank cell. You can drop it here and then naturally you can increase it and you can position wherever you like. So this is an empty cell, so you can start writing into it. We can say sales distribution. All right, and then you simply hit enter and it's going to validate itself and show you the values. All right. So if you want to increase the size and things like that, you can go to format, and if you see it's already in bold, it's 12, so let's make it 16, and you can give it a nice color if you like. I'll keep it black for now. We can also build another distribution here across the customer type in a specific country. So we can also build another pie chart which talks about the distribution of customer type in each country, in each of these countries. So let's bring in another type of a chart called donut, and let's drop it here. And now let's assign the data, and you're going to pick a sector size. So sector size should be net revenue, and then you can pick a chart color. Chart color who can be customer type, and you can add another value, and you can say land 1. That's the country. So if you apply this, it's going to be really crowded. As you can see, it's really crowded. So the way to make sense of this is to filter it. Now let's say we want to only see for a specific country and a specific set of years. So we say filter, and you say add filter. This is the donut, and then you say I want to filter on the country. So let's say I only want to see Germany. Apply, and you only want to see in the last 3 years, correct? So bring the timeline, and you select the last 3 years. Real nice, real nice. So now if you see, it talks about the country and what kind of customer type it is, and here it talks about the country and whatever type it is. It talks about the country and type. So eventually, I mean, obviously, you know, medium is the highest, and it talks also, it distributes across different types. So if you see here, there's something called the default type. You can also remove that, and you can say filter, add a filter, and you can also say type. So you can go to customer type, and you can say I only need to see enterprise, medium, and large, and starter. You can apply and say okay. Very nice, nice, like wonderful. So it looks really nice. And then you need to give it some kind of a heading to understand what this is all about. So you can say okay. So this is Germany. You can always give it another name here. You can program a cell type and things like that.